Well, in implementing problem-based learning in Caribbean higher education institutions, we met some implementation barriers. The first one is a cultural barrier. So students in the Caribbean still expect to be lectured rather than to be taught. That's a problem. And also teachers. Teachers also love to lecture. And so the mental shift or the cultural shift in the classroom is quite demanding in this project.
Oh, the main challenge I absolutely think is that, that there is some very, very strong tradition at the university how to teach. And it's also linked to this, this expert knowledge. In where there is something that is correct, the students must learn. The teacher is in control of this, and in PBL it's a completely different way to think about knowledge and learning and the result of the learning, that the students also develop new competences and perceive maybe things in the subject in a different way than the teacher normally does.
There are a number of challenges that we face when we're trying to introduce the PBL approach in the university. From the student perspective, it's not something they're accustomed to, and so not readily embraced initially, but after going through the experience, they do see the benefit of it. So they are used to being led by a teacher or a facilitator or a lecturer, and there's a little resistance in the beginning, but they eventually come around. Where the management is concerned, you know, traditionally there is a way of doing things, a specific approach to education in the Caribbean region. And so there also is some resistance from the management, and so it's important for us to guide and coach. We've had to have a number of discussions with the administrators to help them to understand what the PBL approach is about, how this can benefit the university, and also how we can now balance the interests of the students and this approach as against our requirements as laid out by our regulators.
We're facing some of the classic problems of implementing anything new in institutions. Institutions have rules and regulations, and in a sense, this is a very fundamental type of change we're proposing, because it's easy to talk about new and innovative ways of doing things in industry, internationally, and so on, but to come and tell an institution that you must change the way you operate, that you deliver. So the fundamental, not just the content of what you train, but how you train is actually very challenging.
Oftentimes, teachers are probably struggling with the whole issue of time. Problem-based learning takes a lot of time for setting it up. But once you understand the process, then you would realize that the kinds of skills that accrue from PBL more than compensate for the time taken.
The other challenge that I'm faced with is that of time, because to be able to be well exposed to this new technique, I need to dedicate the time. But I'm also involved in several other projects. I teach a full load, so I have to do a juggle, as they say, lots of juggling to be able to accommodate it. But I have the energy, I'm excited about it, so the juggling is not that bad.
When implementing PBL within our students' project, I think that the biggest challenge that we have is that stakeholders are sometimes tired of getting involved within students' work. So if you have if everyone will use PBL within one topic, all the students will go to the same stakeholder, so they will get tired. So the challenge that we have is really on different level, try to convince people that it is for a good reason, it is for our own development and for the training of the next generation in an appropriate way to get involved within these projects.
Yeah, one of the main struggling that I have observed and experienced is that teachers, they have a difficulty to really let go of the responsibility to the students, to really trust that they are able to meet the learning objectives working in this way, where the teacher is not controlling what's happening during their study, and when they go away from lecturing or doing exercises with the students to let them more free. They are also very insecure often what the students are working with when the teacher is not present. So that I think they struggle a lot with, this trust in a way, and to be secure that we will reach the target, but in a different way.